Hello children, welcome to AIMS India's online classes. So in the previous class we have learnt about what are fractions and also we have learnt about the different types of fractions. What were the different types? We had like fractions. What are like fractions? Like fractions are those fractions which have the same denominator. Yes, and then we learnt about unlike fractions. Unlike fractions are those which have different denominators. Then we had proper fractions. Proper fractions were those fractions where the numerator is less than the denominator. And coming to improper fractions are those where the numerator is greater than our denominator. And lastly, we learnt about unit fractions, wherein the numerator of a fraction is 1. Say 1 by 4, 1 by 3 and so on. All such type of fractions where the numerator is 1 will be called as our unit fraction. And starting today's class, we will learn about the simplest form of a fraction. What form, children? The simplest form. A fraction is said to be in the simplest form if its numerator and denominator have no common factor other than 1. What are they saying? In a fraction, when both the numerator and denominator, if we take the fraction 1 here, what is the numerator? If we take the fraction 1 by 2, 1, the number that is written above, will be our numerator, and 2, the number written below, will be our denominator. Yes, so it will be in the simplest form when both the numerator and denominator have no common factor other than 1. Again, what is a factor here? Factor is a number which divides the given number completely. Yes children, it divides the given number completely. Now what are the factors of 1? Factors of 1 are only 1. And coming to factors of 2, for 2 we have 1 and 2 as the factors. And what is the common factor for these two? See, the same, both the numbers 1 and 2 have 1 as their common factor. Yes, they have only 1 as their common factor. So we can say that the fraction 1 by 2 is in its simplest form. The numerator and denominator should have no common factor other than 1. Okay, in exam you will be getting some fractions, children, and then you have to represent it in the simplest form. When will you reach the simplest form of a fraction? When the numerator and denominator have no common factor other than 1. Coming to another example here, consider the fraction 9 by 27. Now, is the given fraction in the simplest form? Let us see. 9 and 27. What are the factors of 9? We have 1, 3 and 9 as the factors of 9. And for 27 we have 1, 3, 9 and 27 as the factors of 27. Now what are the common factors here? 1, 3, 9. These three are the common factors for our numerator 9 and the denominator 27. Now can we say that this fraction is in its simplest form? No. Why? Because other than 1 they are having 3 and 9 also as their common factors. So what should we do? Divide the numerator and denominator by the same number until they have no common factors other than 1. Just now we have discussed that the factors of 3 are 1, 3 and 9. The factors of 9 are the factors of 9 are 1, 3 and 9, and the factors of 27 are 1, 3, 9 and 27. What is the highest common factor here, children? From the common factors, which is the highest one? 9 is the highest one. So we have to divide the numerator and denominator by this highest common factor. What should we do? We have to divide the numerator and also the denominator by the highest common factor here. See, 9 by 27 is our original fraction. The highest common factor is 9. So, dividing the numerator by 9 and also the denominator by 9. What will be our answer? 9 divided by 9, 1. 27 divided by 9 will be 3. See, 27 divided by 9. 9 3s are 27. When we subtract, 0 is our remainder. So, our new fraction is 1 by 3. Now, let us check whether it is in the simplest form or not. The factors of 1 are 1 and the factors of 3 are 1 comma 3. Yes, these both numerator and our denominator 3 share the common factor 1. They only have 1 as the common factor. So, yes, our fraction 1 by 3 is in the simplest form. See children, what should we do if the given fraction is not in the simplest form? We have to divide. Remember, we have to divide the numerator and denominator by the same number. Yes, if I am dividing the numerator by 9, I have to divide the denominator also by 9 until they have no common factors other than 1. Yes, normally if you divide both by their highest common factors, you will get the simplest form. Now, in the simplest form, both the numerators and denominators have no common factors other than 1. For the given fraction 9 by 27, the simplest form is 1 by 3. Understood children? The concept of simplest fraction? Yes. Now 1 and 3 have no common factor other than 1. Hence, the fraction is in its simplest form. Now let us look at a fact here. To simplify or reduce a fraction into its simplest form, we divide the numerator and denominator of the fraction by their common factor. Instead of common, if you understand it as highest common factor, it will be easy for you. See, one way of asking the question is, write the given fraction, represent the given fraction in its simplest form, or the question may be like reduce the given fraction to the simplest form. So either ways, this is the procedure that you have to follow. Let us look at some example exercise problems here. Now coming to the first one, 64 and 72. What are the factors of 64? We have 1, 2, then we have 4, we have 18, 24, 36 and 72. See, these are the factors of 64 and also the factors of 72. Yes children, now what are the common factors? We have 1, 2, 4, 8, then we have 1, 2, 4 and 8. We are having 4 common factors. Now what is the highest common factor among these? 8. 8 is the highest common factor. So let us divide them both. What is our fraction? 64 by 72. Now if we divide them both by 8, we have 8 8s are 64 and 8 9s are 72. And now if you look at the factors of 8 and 9, the factors of 8 are 1, 2, 4 and 8. The factors of 9 are 1, 3 and 9. These two share only 1 as their common factor. That is why we can say that 8 by 9 is in its simplest form. So therefore, the simplest form of our fraction 64 by 72 is 8 by 9. Understood children how to find out the simplest form of a given fraction. Next, checking the equivalence of two fractions. To check whether the given two fractions are equivalent or not, you need to find the simplest form of the given fraction. If the simplest form of the given fraction is same, then they are equivalent fractions. Now do you remember what are equivalent fractions? Equivalent fractions are those which are equal in value. And how did we find out the equivalent fractions, children? Suppose we had 1 by 3. Now when we multiply both the numerator and denominator by the same number, 1 2s are 2 and 3 2s are 6, we will get our equivalent fraction. The equivalent fraction of 1 by 3 is 2 by 6. Yes. Now what are they saying? Suppose if I have two fractions, say 1 by 3 and 3 by 9. And I want to find out whether these two are equivalent or not. What do I want to find out? I want to find out whether these two are equivalent or not. This is also called as checking the equivalency. Checking the equivalency, checking whether the given pair of fractions are equivalent or not. Now what are they saying? One way to find out whether the given fractions are equivalent or not is that you have to convert these two fractions or reduce these two fractions into their simplest form. Now if you take 1 by 3 and 3 by 9 here, for 1 and 3 only 1 is the common factor, so it is already in its simplest form. But for 3 and 9, 3 is their highest common factor. Yes, we have 3 1s are 3 and also 3 3s are 9. This fraction 3 by 9 is not in its simplest form. Now how to reduce? Divide both the numerator and denominator by our 3. Why 3? Because 3 is the highest common factor of the given numbers. Now 3 divided by 3 1, 9 divided by 3 will be 3. What fraction did we get, children? 1 by 3. The first fraction was also 1 by 3, and for the second fraction its simplest form is also 1 by 3. From this we can conclude that the given fractions 1 by 3 and 3 by 9 are equivalent fractions. Yes, children, understood how to find out whether the given fractions are equivalent or not? We need to find out the simplest form. We need to reduce the given fractions to the simplest form. If they both are the same, that means the simplest form of both the given fractions is same, then we can say that they are equivalent to each other. For example, 3 by 4 and 6 by 8. Another example, what do we have here? 3 by 4 and 6 by 8. Now 3 and 4 both share only 1 as their common denominator, so it is already in its simplest form. Now coming to 6 by 8. See, the factors of 6 are 1, 2, 3 and 6. The factors of 8 are 1, 2, 4 and 8. Now these two have 2 as their HCF. So this is not in the simplest form. So we should divide both the numerator and denominator by 2, which is their HCF. 6 divided by 2, 3. 8 divided by 2, 4. See, children, this is the simplest form of 6 by 8 and 3 by 4 is already in its simplest form. Now the simplest form of both the given fractions is equal to each other. Now from this what can we conclude? 3 by 4 is equal to 6 by 8. That is, the given fractions are equivalent fractions. Understood, children? First we learnt about reducing the given fractions to the simplest form, and after reducing them to the simplest form we can say whether the given fractions are equivalent or not. Another way we can check whether the two fractions are equivalent or not by the method of cross multiplying. What are they saying? Apart from the method that we have followed, what did we do? We found out the HCF and then divided the numerator and denominator by the HCF. So apart from doing this, we have another method also to find out whether the given fractions are equivalent or not. And what is this? It is the method of cross multiplying. For example, the question is, are 1 by 3 and 3 by 9 equivalent fractions? We need to cross multiply. 1 by 3, 3 by 9. Cross multiply means the numerator of the first will be multiplied by the denominator of the second. 1 into 9, and the numerator of second will be multiplied by the denominator of the first. See, cross multiplying. One numerator is divided with the other's denominator. 1 into 9 is equal to 9 and 3 into 9 is also equal to 9. Now both the products are equal, right? Yes, as both the products are equal, we can say that the given fractions are equivalent fractions. Understood, children? This is a much simpler method, right? What should we do? Let us again revise with another set of fractions here. First one is 4 by 5 and 8 by 10. How do we find out the equivalency by cross multiplication? The numerator of the first multiplied by the denominator of the second, and numerator of second multiplied by the denominator of the first. 4 into 10, 40. 8 into 5, 40. Again, both the products are equal to each other. So we can say that the given fractions 4 by 5 is equal to 8 by 10, or simply that they both are our equivalent fractions. Clear, children? It is much easier. What should we do? We just need to cross multiply and check whether the products are same. If the products, what was the sentence here? If the products are equal, we can say that the given two fractions are equivalent. Next we have improper fractions and mixed fractions. We've already learnt about improper fractions, right, children? What is an improper fraction? Suppose if we have the fraction like this, 4 by 3, where 4 is the numerator and 3 is the denominator. Yes, what is the comparison between these two? Here the numerator is greater than the denominator. Yes, more weight is put on our small child here. He cannot bear the weight. So that means this is an improper fraction. We have already learnt about proper and improper fractions in the previous class. So improper fraction is the fraction where the numerator is greater than the denominator. What are examples for this? 13 by 7, 17 by 8, 29 by 18, 34 by 23. All these are improper fractions. If you observe, in all the cases, numerator is greater than our denominator. Now coming to the new type of fraction here, which is a mixed fraction. What does mixed means? Means it has more than one variety in it. Yes. So in mixed fraction, we have a combination of whole number and also a proper fraction. What do we have, children? Mixed fraction is a combination. Mixed fraction is a combination of a whole number. What are whole numbers? Whole numbers starting from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on. All the numbers plus we have a proper fraction. What do we have? Whole number and a proper fraction. Again, what is a proper fraction? Say 2 by 5. Here the numerator 2 is less than our denominator 5. So this becomes our proper fraction. When we have any fraction such as 2 by 5, this is a fraction. What do we have in this? We have 2, which is a whole number, and also we have 2 by 5, which is our proper fraction. When we have a combination of these two, then such a fraction is called as a mixed fraction, children. What is it called as? Mixed fraction. Example 2 3 by 4. How will we read the fractions here? First read the whole number and then read the fraction. 2 3 by 4, 3 2 by 5, 9 3 by 4 are all examples for our mixed fraction. Next, conversion of mixed fractions into improper fractions. Now remember the connection between mixed. Mixed fraction always consists of a whole number and a proper fraction, and a mixed fraction can always be converted into an improper fraction, and an improper fraction can be converted into a mixed fraction. We cannot convert a proper fraction into a mixed fraction. Only mixed fraction can be converted into improper fraction, and an improper fraction can be converted into a mixed fraction. Now to convert mixed fractions into improper fractions, we can multiply the whole number with the denominator and adding the numerator, and keep the denominator as it is. Convert to 1 by 2. What is 2 1 by 2 here? It is our mixed fraction, which has 2 as our whole number and 1 by 2 as our proper fraction. Now how to convert? Multiply the whole number and the denominator. The whole number and the denominator. Then add the numerator. 2 plus 2 4 plus 1. 4 plus 1 is 5. And what is this? Mixed fraction is converted into an improper fraction, as we have discussed. Here the answer is only 5. Is this a fraction? No, it should have a denominator also. So what about the denominator? The same denominator which was for our mixed fraction will be used here. Yes, the denominator is kept as it is. Change is made only in the numerator. So 2 1 by 2 is nothing but 5 by 2. Let us look at another example also. Say 5 1 by 3. How to convert? As I said, keep the denominator as it is. In the numerator, multiply our whole number and denominator. To that we have to add our numerator. 5 3s are 15 plus 1 by 3. 15 plus 1 16 divided by 3. This is an improper fraction, right? Yes. A mixed fraction can always be converted into an improper fraction. This is the formula, whole number into denominator, and to that product we have to add our numerator. Next, conversion of improper fractions into mixed fractions. Now you can convert an improper fraction into a mixed fraction by dividing the numerator by denominator to get the whole number. The remainder divided by the divisor is the fraction and the quotient is the whole number. Example, convert 3 by 2 into a mixed fraction. It is an improper fraction. Yes. So first to convert we have to divide. 3 divided by 2. We have 2 ones are 2. When we subtract, 1 is our remainder. Now how should we write the fraction from this? See here, 2 is the denominator, right? That is our divisor. Keep it as it is. Whole number becomes the quotient and remainder becomes our numerator. Understood, children? Whole number becomes the quotient and the remainder becomes our numerator. So 3 by 2 converted into a mixed fraction is 1 by 2. See, in general, how do? We write the quotient as the whole number, remainder becomes the numerator and divisor becomes our denominator. Let us look at few more examples. 9 by 7. 9 divided by 7. We have 7 ones are 7. When we subtract, 2 is our remainder. Yes. See, the divisor is our denominator remainder is our numerator and quotient will be our whole number. So 9 by 7 is equal to 1, 2 by 7. Again 11 by 6. When we divide 11 by 6, we have 6 ones are 6. When we subtract, 5 is our remainder. Yes, so 6 divisor becomes the denominator, remainder is the numerator, and 1 the quotient is our whole number. Understood, children? With this, we've come to the end of today's class. I hope the concept of simplifying fractions, mixed fractions, and improper fractions is clear. Please visit our website www.aimstoday.in for other information regarding online classes, quizzes, live worksheets, DIY activities, English classes and coding. Thank you for watching our video. Please subscribe our channel and press the bell icon for receiving latest updates.